welcome to the Games Tavern Happy Hour. I have with me today Arianna. Arianna is a prolific streamer on Twitch, a Twitch partner, and importantly, a cast member on the TTRPG live play Cantrip Breakers, a Dungeons & Dragons live play with quite a few other very prolific streamers as well. Arianna, thank you so much for being with us today. I know you had to take time out of your busy schedule. I know it's 6 a.m. here right now for this interview. How is it for you right now?
Oh, it is 1 o'clock in the middle of the night.
All right. Well, outstanding.
No, wait. When we're recording this, you mean?
Yeah.
Or when it's live? Okay, because it's pre-recorded.
Yeah, it's being recorded. Yeah,
all right, it's being recorded. Okay, it's 12 o'clock.
Yeah, if this was live in this particular instance, and just full disclosure, this is being pre-recorded because she is in the Central European time zone. Arianna, where in the world are you? You want to tell everybody?
I'm in Sweden, as you guys are hearing this, I'm fast asleep.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah, if you're watching this live, it's at least 1 a.m. her time. A very exciting time to be asleep or be up to no good. So
honestly, as a gamer, I should be awake, but I'm not. I'm just not.
Yeah, I feel you there. I do. So we, to kind of give everybody an idea of how this got started, a long time ago, I kind of sent out an invitation to you to just, get to know you and ask you some questions about streaming. And you were one of the nicest people that I was able to talk to about streaming when we were getting started and trying to understand what to do. And I really appreciated that. You gave me a lot of feedback and understanding of what it was like. And it's even nicer that you're allowing us this opportunity to interview you today. So
thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem. So right now you're on Cantrip Breakers.
Yes. I'm even representing. Look.
Oh, you got. Oh,
I dressed to the occasion.
You did. You totally did, and that's awesome. It's awesome. I've caught a few episodes. Because I have to watch it on the VOD myself, because of the timing and stuff like that. But what is the show about? Can you tell everybody real quick?
All right, so it started with just a few normal streamers that didn't really do anything with Dungeons and Dragons, and we kind of came together and we found a GM, and ever since we've just been adventuring with the group. And some of us are really new to it, especially me. Like, this is the first time I'm ever doing anything with Dungeons and Dragons, so it's been really exciting, and I'm learning a lot. And here we are.
Excellent.
Adventuring.
Now, you were always a gamer nerd kind of thing, right? Like, you were kind of always into. No, you weren't. Oh, really? When did you get the gaming bug?
I had a boyfriend,
okay.
When I was 21 or 22 years old. I had a boyfriend who was into gaming, and I kind of slid into it really late. I think I was 25 or something when I was properly gaming.
Oh, really?
Before that, it was not even I started on a laptop. I was 25 and I had a really, really, really bad laptop that I was gaming from. But I got really addicted really quickly on World of Warcraft, and it's and now it's my job. I don't even know how I got here, but this is my job now.
That's right. You stream World of Warcraft Sundays at 12 noon Central European time, and at, checking my notes here, 3 p.m. Central European time. I have caught a couple of those streams and tried to support where we could. I got to admit, I'm a noob when it comes to WoW, so I'm watching that.
So am I. It's fine.
Probably in the same seat you are. So you got into that, and you said it was a little while before you became, you were properly gaming. Can I ask, when the transition was for you as you went from no gaming whatsoever to suddenly gaming? Where was the in-between point? What was the point where you went, okay, I'm a gamer now?
That's the thing. I don't think there was an in-between point. I think it was from one day to another. It started with those pre-parties on Saturday evenings when there was we were playing the Wii, the parties, and then we made a drinking game out of that. That's kind of the first interaction with video gaming that I had. I don't really count that because there was different reason behind that. But then I started, I first got in contact with League of Legends, and that was from one day on another. I just played it the whole time. I played it so much that there's a character in there that you can stun people with. I played it so much that in real life, I tried to like mentally, I was stunning people, and I was like, okay, maybe I should like calm down a little bit, and then I got into World of Warcraft. That was like right after New Year's Eve. I started World of Warcraft, and I've just never logged out. I've just never stopped playing, and
that's amazing.
Yeah, especially because back then my boyfriend and I broke up like while I started playing World of Warcraft. So I kind of used World of Warcraft to like escape, I guess, because we were together for 6 years, so it was kind of long.
Oh wow.
And yeah, and I've really like deep dived into that. Actually, I was doing the role play version of World of Warcraft. I didn't really play World of Warcraft. I was like playing Dungeons and Dragons in World of Warcraft, which was pretty cool. And
so you were on the RP servers?
Yeah, I was on the roleplay servers. I didn't really know how to play the game that well. Obviously, I played it a bit, but it was mostly just role playing. And then I started to PvE, so like actually play the game. And I was not that great at it. I didn't really know what to do. So then my friends in the guild were like, why don't you stream it? And we can look and help you out. So I did. And there were like 15 guild members watching that first stream that I did. So there was already like 15 people, and then there were new people coming in, and it was a lot of fun. And all of a sudden I became a streamer. So yeah, that's where we are.
What a journey. What a journey. So as you transitioned and were doing this role play, so you were naturally already in the role play field and you have some experience in role playing.
Yeah.
What is it you liked about the role playing side?
The acting part, I think. Like, I know that in World of Warcraft, there is not a lot of acting because you're writing it out. But the way, like, how to really transform your in-character emotions into words, that was so cool. And especially when you got really quick at it, like I started to type really quick, and I was like hosting storylines as well. I was a guild leader, and I was making the storylines and just to keep track of what everyone was doing. And as they were typing it, I was like taking notes, and it went so quick. And yeah, it was really fun. It was really fun.
Wow. How many people would be role playing at one time for this?
I think in my guild, there were like 20 people in one storyline. So, and we had fights as well, where I had to keep track of what everyone was doing because there was like multiple enemies. And then there was no role-based turn really. It was just like, this is what the enemies are doing, respond. And then everyone had to roll in the game and see if they were rolling higher than what they were needed to roll. So I would, for example, roll above 60 to hit. And then they got like free space to hit whatever. And I had to keep track of the enemy's health. And I had to make sure that every enemy was responding to everyone that was in there. It was basically just me doing this the whole time. It was so fun.
I can't imagine, I
mean, like it's hard.
It's challenging enough to do this for 5 or 6 people on stream. I can't imagine doing that for 20 people, period.
Well, the good thing about it is that people aren't that quick when they are typing. So some of the guild members were quicker and some were slower. So I first made sure to write down in my notepad what the first people that pressed enter had done. And then I made sure to everyone to react to that. And then someone else was ready, so react to that. And yeah, it was okay because of the slow pace of it, really.
Okay. Well, that's actually pretty cool to understand. I wouldn't have thought of that. Growing up in Sweden, is there a large tabletop role-playing game community?
I actually grew up in the Netherlands.
In the Netherlands. Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just moved in. No, you couldn't have known.
No, I couldn't have. I'm so sorry.
I don't know. I have no idea because I wasn't in that world. I don't know anyone in my entire youth that actually either gamed or did roleplay. And honestly, it was a little bit taboo in the atmosphere that I grew up, because I grew up in the north of the Netherlands, and it's kind of like, be cool, So there were if you were a nerd, you were bullied, basically. So
really? Is that how it still is in the Netherlands? Okay.
When I was, I don't know, when I was young, it was, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
no, I don't know if there's anyone very new to it.
Well, that's too bad. It was definitely like that here in the U.S. in the 80s and into the 90s at one point. But that has shifted, apparently. It's now cool to be a nerd in many cases.
Yeah, but the like end of the 90s, that was definitely the time that I'm talking about as well. Like I'm not 20 no more.
Well, now you're playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
And how did that start?
That was because of my friend Gloss. She's part of the Cantrip Breakers as well. And she tweeted that she wanted to start that and that she was looking for... No, she approached me. Oh, it's been a long time.
Yeah, you two know each other.
We know each other because she also plays World of Warcraft, and she had moved to Norway from the Netherlands. So I got in contact with her because I wanted to move to Sweden and I didn't really know how to do it. So I asked her for help. Like, hey, you're Dutch. How did you do it? And then we kind of like connected over streaming, and we connected over World of Warcraft, and she was looking for Dungeons and Dragons, and I was really looking for something to do with my acting, my creative act. Basically, I was just streaming the game and I wasn't really role playing anymore. And I've always been acting my entire life, so I was missing that a lot. So I was like, I can try that out, and all of a sudden I was part of starting it all. So yeah, it was cool.
Can you tell me about what you like to play in your tabletop role-playing games right now? In terms of character, race, what is it that draws you in, that made you... I mean, besides the role play, was there anything else in particular that got you excited about coming in?
I'm going to be honest with you. I picked the easiest thing. Like, I would have wanted to be an elf, like an elf druid, maybe, like super... but I started with a human bard because I knew humans, because I'm human. And I sing, so I knew also how to do that. And so I thought like I would start really easy so that I don't have to remember all these things and not make roleplay mistakes like saying something, for example, oh yeah, I am 120 years old, and then you can't, that's like a baby or something, because I didn't know anything about Dungeons and Dragons. So I'm human, really basic. And then my community, like my own community from my own stream, kind of gave me the idea to make a bard with stage fright. So a really shy bard. And so then the challenge was to roleplay a bard that's really, really shy, rather than the challenge being something that I needed to remember what an elf does or what a dwarf does or a halfling,
So do you find that playing a bard with stage fright is a natural thing for you, or is that also a challenge for you?
I was so quiet. Luckily, she died. She died. No, I was really quiet, really shy. It was a lot of fun, but it was really challenging. And I noticed that the GM had to really sometimes pause and go like, "Hey, Alana," was my character. What does your character do right now? Because it was really hard to not talk and still be part of the role play. So I would do small things like, Alana's not doing anything. She's thinking a lot, but she's not responding to this because she doesn't dare to. I really had to like explain what she was thinking because she wasn't doing anything. That was really rough. But she's dead now, so we moved on.
Oh my. Yeah. So you mentioned that you played a bard because you sing. Now, are you a professional singer? I mean, like, or not professional? Did you take singing lessons at one time, or? I
had some singing lessons when I was an entertainer in real life before. Like I was doing some singing as a bungalow park. Actually, it was not a big deal, but I was in some musicals as well, small ones. nothing majors. I'm not like a singer really, but I can sing. So.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. And a great way to, bring your other hobby into, the stream as well in some respects.
Yeah, unfortunately with the DMCA stuff, I can't really do it anymore. I haven't been singing in so long now because I have to write my own stuff and I'm not that great at that. I did write a song for like the character. I wrote 2 songs. But yeah, that's where it ended. Like, and again, luckily she died, so I don't have to do that anymore.
What are you playing currently?
A monk.
A monk.
A monk, yes. Still human, because I'm still not that educated with all the classes and with all the races, I mean. But yeah, monk. Really fun.
What is it that makes the monk really fun for you?
With my monk, like in particular, it's the monastery that she grew up with. It's kind of like a cult more than like the normal monastery.
Mm-hmm.
So, which clashes a lot with the group that I am in with right now, and that kind of leads to really cool roleplay where my character is like not understanding certain things and being all like, we need to recruit more people, but it's interesting because she's in the real world now for the first time and she's learning so much, and it clashes a lot, which is cool.
I think the tension in role play is a fantastic thing. It lets you get through some tension stuff. How do you keep that tension from in your current role play from getting in the way of the party's adventure moving forward?
Ooh, well, I think it definitely helps that after every session, we stick around a little bit longer with the whole group offline,
Mm-hmm.
and we go through stars and wishes, which
Stars
is
and
like
wishes.
stars and wishes. Basically, everyone gets to give someone a star. So, like, what was the best part of the session we just had,
Mm-hmm.
and a wish for like next session. And often their wishes are like, okay, so today this happened, which kind of makes it hard for my character to not want to walk away. So maybe if we can next week have a session where there is a reason for my character to stay with this group, then that makes sense. And then there is that happens next week, and then that's how we kind of keep the group together and how we make it better every week.
I like it.
Yeah,
like
it's
it.
really cool.
That is something I think is so cool. I may have to start looking into that as a.
I would recommend it, like for everyone who does that, just afterwards to completely offline and then go through what do you want next week, what did you like. And it's also fun because you give each other compliments every week, like this part was so good, or this time that you did that was so great. And that's also a little bit of bonding, and I think that's important. And
isn't it great when you can do that? I mean, it shouldn't be hard to give each other compliments, you'd think, right?
No, but the receiving of the compliments, especially for our GM, is like our GM gets the most compliments because he is so good. He's an actor in real life, and he does the best voices, and it's so, he goes in the voice acting, and it's so good. So he usually gets all the stars, but he's like not that. He doesn't really know how to. He always says, "Oh, I don't know how to take these compliments, but thank you," and it's just it's great. Absolutely great.
That is definitely a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
A wonderful thing. When you did up your character's backstory, how challenging was that for you when you were figuring that out? And then just kind of go into that a little bit, and then I'll have a follow-up question probably right behind that.
All right. Yeah. So for the first one, I actually asked my community because I was so new to it, and there were a lot of people in my community that were not new to it. So I was like, hey, everyone that knows anything about Dungeons and Dragons, this is my idea. What shall we do? And they wrote the whole backstory. That's also why I was shy. they wrote it all, and I edited it a little bit to make it fit me more. And that's how my first character started. The second one was easier because it was a monk. So a monk already has certain things, else she wouldn't be a monk. So, and then I had some help from my GM. We kind of wrote it together because the GM is really good with Dungeons and Dragons. So that one was easier. Yeah.
So was writing it with the DM a good way to go because that prevented anything from your backstory possibly being an obstacle or something that would continually get in the way of the adventure now?
Well, the adventure now is actually written after we made our characters. So all the NPCs in the storyline are not pre-made, like just set NPCs. They are made to fit our characters. So we keep running into people from my monastery, for example, or from the past, or something that really, it's basically all about the players right now in this story that we're in. And it all makes sense instead of that there's nonstop a reason to, that we're searching for a reason to do something. So that, I think that definitely helps.
Yeah. Well, most of the time when people write a backstory, they're either keeping it light, and at least this is my experience, they're keeping it pretty light, and then they add to it as they go, which is also perfectly acceptable. Or they go this massive tome of backstory, and it either is a really well written one that just continues, that they just kind of pull from as they go, or it becomes this thing that they constantly try to go back to that's taking away from the adventure.
Right. Yeah.
And so sometimes you do these things, and I think writing it with the DM in mind is a great way to go, and I think that's a wonderful way that you guys have done it.
Definitely. I think that.
Go ahead.
I was going to say something and then it slipped my mind. Like, as you were speaking, I had it and now it's gone. It was about the backstory. Oh, right. We actually do some stories of the past as well, where we stop the story and we dive into the background. So, for example, when a computer breaks down or when a person cannot be there, we'll just swap it and do a background story. So for my character, we've already done that. So my background is actually created during that stream as well. I had of course the background ready, but it wasn't a story yet until we actually did that. And now it's a story, which also makes it way easier to relate to my character and actually roleplay her a lot better than when I wouldn't have done that.
That's actually really cool. I dig that. And I know recently, or not that long ago, you did a solo.
That was the background. Yeah.
That was one of them. Yeah. So how did that feel going solo? You know, just a one person with the DM. I mean, that's got to be a win-win. One, you have the DM's complete undivided attention, and at the same time, you're now without any other help besides you from your friends at the table. How did that feel?
It cost a lot of energy, definitely, but it was so immersive. It was like I was playing in a movie. But like, I even cried. I literally cried, and it wasn't like acting cried. I actually felt emotional because it got so deep into like the story that I started to feel it. It felt so good, but like, it costs a lot of energy because you need to nonstop be like really there with your brain. And when there's more people playing, sometimes there's like a scene between two people and you could just like look at the chat for a moment or just listen and not be. But yeah, so it's a little bit of both. It's heavier, but it's also a lot of fun.
That's pretty intense when you can get to that emotional level. Do you find that you often get into that deep emotional state in your games, or is that you take them as you can get them?
With the group that we have right now, I think there is a lot more just laughter than deep emotions, because we have a child in the group as well. One of the characters is a child/teenager, and that just it's nonstop a balance between the heavy side of roleplay where we dig a little bit deeper into the characters, and just the ridiculous parts where they're milking a cow but they're rolling a nat 1 on it, so they hurt, like, you know, it's just
poor cow.
The poor cow, yeah, and the poor farmer. Like, it was it's really funny, and I think it's good that there's a lot of emotions, a lot of serious moments, a lot of laughter, and I think that keeps it really balanced.
Yeah, the levity is also a very important factor in most games that you're playing. Otherwise, if it's too serious all the time, it just becomes depressing. I think.
True. Especially because we're actually playing in a scene where it's just so depressing. The world is so depressing. Like everything is gray and there hasn't been sun in so long because of some sort of curse. I don't know. I think it's a curse. Nobody really knows yet, except for the GM, of course.
Tune in to Cantrip Breakers and find out.
Yeah.
With your monk going on and doing all the things that it's doing, have you found that you're really enjoying the monk, or are there other things that you kind of keep your eye on right now as a player in terms of other things you might want to try out in the future?
Like my monk is really basic. She like typical monk. She just bread and water, and she doesn't really care about much. She just does what she's trained to do. So I think in the future it would be so cool to play a little bit of an extra person, as in like just something special about it, because my monk is super plain, which is I guess handy to fill in the spots of the boring person, you know, to get the story to continue the story. But I think that if a little bit of a maybe even a like, you know, a crazy dreamy druid or something like that, just a little bit extra, I think that would be fun as well, because I've been shy now, I've been boring now.
You get a look at that elf druid sometime.
I think so. Yeah.
All right. You mentioned that you're kind of playing this plain character and stuff. Dungeons and Dragons is very often when everybody's having fun, it's because everybody's kind of an ensemble cast of characters that play whatever their role is within the party. How do you guys keep your ensemble cast, where everybody gets a chance to shine? And then what is the area where your monk shines?
That's on the GM again, I think.
Yeah.
The GM makes sure to just address the different characters and like, what is your character doing? What's your character doing? I think that's really important. And my monk, where is she shining? I guess I guess she, like, the rest of the group is kind of like, oh, let's steal that, or oh, let's not pay that and just murder them instead. Stuff like that.
A whole
and
bunch of murder hobos. Okay.
Oh, yeah. And I think that my character in the group is kind of like I'll pay that. That's okay. Yeah, I don't care about money. Or, so I am definitely a little bit the opposite of the rest of the group. And I think that's, I think that could be good to make sure that it's not just everyone doing that thing and there's no one stopping it, basically.
Wow, it sounds like your monk is the voice of reason among a bunch of psychotics. The way you described it just there. So I'm going to ask, because it's kind of interesting. So as you get into all this Dungeons and Dragons, the more important question that everybody wants to know is, how many sets of dice do you have? You have 0 sets of dice? Are you digital only?
I don't have a single dice.
You're digital only? Wow.
Yeah.
What do you guys use to roll dice? Are you guys using like a VTT?
We use Roll20 and D&D Beyond.
Okay.
So, which is cool, because then you just click a button. Except for a GM, actually, he does roll a dice. I hear him roll a dice. But the rest of us, we just press a button.
Yeah.
But it's fun, because then it's also appearing up in the chat. It appears in the corner and everyone can see what we rolled.
Oh, so, okay. That's really cool.
I guess that's a good thing. But yeah, I should probably get a dice.
Yes, you should, and probably more than one set.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even know where to get a dice like that.
I bet you your friend Highgloss could tell you.
I'm sure.
And if she cannot, I will show you offline a number of different locations where you can pick them up in Europe, no problem.
Okay.
That is an easy one right there. Finding dice, nerds unite.
Nerds unite.
Yes, nerds unite. If you're watching this on the VOD and you're Arianna's wonderful community, you need to start messaging in one of her channels immediately where she can get dice as well. Just spam the daylights out of it. Make sure she knows. Yeah, you're probably going to get about a million helpful requests at that point.
Maybe.
So Dungeons and Dragons, outside of World of Warcraft RP, was Dungeons and Dragons the first role-playing game you got to play, tabletop-wise?
Yeah.
Okay.
The only one I've ever played actually now as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are there any other ones you'd want to try?
Definitely. Like at one point we made this extra. We changed the channel name from Cantrip Breakers to Fable Hunters because the idea was that we were going to do extra TTRPGs.
Yes.
On the side. Unfortunately, it didn't work out the way we had planned because it kind of like divided the group a little bit because we weren't all in that one, and it was just like it didn't really work out. So the people that started that have actually moved to a different channel now. But I would love to try that because I think that is also really, really cool.
We do something similar to that on our network called we have it trademarked RPG Short Shots.
Right.
And what we do is we bring in both either new streamers or we do cross-stream promotions, and we do Dungeons and Dragons, but we also do a whole bunch of other systems too. So between 1 to 6 episodes of a different system, and people get invited in. Cool. And it's been great. You should definitely check that out if you get a chance, or maybe we should invite you onto one of ours. You can play a elf druid if you wish.
If it's not in the middle of the night.
Well, we do stuff on Saturdays that are usually a little bit earlier for European time. So that's usually, and we've had like Nicky Ellison on from, and he's in England. He's done a few different things as well, and it's been amazing. So. Cool. But yeah, I understand. We all have to sleep sometime. Let's see here. If you've only played Dungeons and Dragons, what is the monster that you've gone up against so far that you found to be the most interesting?
It was a troll.
A troll.
A troll that had locked a family in a cage in a cave. Mm-hmm. And our job was to rescue the family, and get around that troll. And
so you raided the troll's pantry. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So we went in there, and one person in our group tried to what's the spell again? Where you try to make someone do something. You tell them
charm person.
No, not charm. Convince? No.
Suggestion?
Suggest. That one. Mm-hmm. And she suggested that the troll left. That was the first thing she did. She was the first one to do anything. And the troll, she rolled so high that the troll just left. And that was the whole fight. The troll just left. And our GM was like, that's the end of that part that I organized. So yeah, that was the best part. I think that was the best monster. The troll just left, and we took the people home. We weren't harmed. Nothing happened. That was it.
No families were harmed in the making of this troll encounter.
No.
Okay. Outstanding. What alignment is your character currently?
Guess. With how boring she is.
Yeah, and I don't use alignment as a rule system, but more like a guide.
Right.
So it's kind of like
the most neutral.
Neutral, very neutral.
Super neutral. She's like super neutral, but like she does what she thinks she has to do, but she also doesn't care too much about. She will do the rules, she will follow them, but it's not like she thinks, oh, that's, she's super neutral. She doesn't care too much. It's just what she learned, basically.
Comparing that to you, what would your alignment be?
So I always thought I was chaotic neutral, until someone told me that's impossible. Nobody is chaotic neutral.
There are people that are chaotic neutral. Most of them are sociopaths. But
what was the other one? What was the other side again? No, I think I was chaotic. Okay, I'm not a sociopath, so maybe I'm not chaotic then.
Maybe. Well, I mean, chaotic neutral. Maybe. Are you chaotic good, lawful neutral? That kind of thing. You've got all sorts of options there. really, to be honest.
Right. I find it hard. I find it hard. I am. Let me say it like this. I think I'm a good person, but obviously I'm a human, so I don't know. Um, but when someone tells me you have to do that, I like don't want to do it anymore.
Oh,
So so
maybe you are chaotic neutral.
yeah, that's what I thought because when someone tells me do this,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like I want to do what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I am not deliberately doing anything to like harm anyone or something like that.
That
But
could
it's
be
more that
chaotic
I'm
good just as easily.
that maybe I don't know. It's complicated. It's
Mm-hmm.
complicated.
Um, your monk has a background.
Yeah.
What is that background? If you
She
can tell
got
us, unless that's a spoiler.
no, it's already so
Not the background story. You have your class, and then you have your character background, right?
yeah.
Which background did you have?
Let me grab my sheets.
I got to get to know that stuff. You know,
D&D Beyond. Yeah, this is I am I
You know,
know this stuff.
inquiring minds
This
want to
is
know
where
this stuff. The community needs to know.
this is the moment where we're just gonna it's pre-recorded, right? So we're just gonna pause and you're gonna cut it out and make me look super cool.
We can edit this in post if you wish.
He's not gonna do that again. No, it's fine. I'm joking. Where can I find this? Background. I'm really new to this, guys.
It's all right. You take a look in the bottom left-hand side where you have your actions and so on. Actions, spells, everything on your character sheet in D&D Beyond. Right-hand side. Sorry, right-hand side.
Oh, right hand side.
Yeah, it should say actions, spells, all that stuff.
Yeah.
There should be something in there that says description.
Yeah. Hermit.
Huh? Hermit.
Hermit.
Well, that's the person who's shy and doesn't want to talk to anybody. That fits beautifully. But having
Live
talked
with
to you
seclusion.
on a number of different occasions, you don't strike me in real life as anything like a hermit.
No.
Now, are you very gregarious and outgoing?
Yeah. Well,
The short answer from an outgoing person. Yeah.
I was gonna continue. Give me a moment. Yes, comma. A bit of both, actually. Like I am both extroverted and introverted. So I am very outgoing and I like high energy for a while, and then I need to like be alone and just recharge. But then I need to get out again. So I'm a little bit of both.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't mind being in front of people, but you're probably an introvert if you recharge by being alone, unplug and stuff like that.
I did a test one day and it was 52% extroverted. So
Oh,
50-50.
wow.
Yeah.
Do you find that, when you're recharging, what is it you do to recharge?
Played on the Switch and watch TikTok.
And watch TikTok? You just
Yeah.
zone out and watch TikTok?
Yeah,
and all
I just like play Stardew Valley and while watching Netflix, because I can't really just watch Netflix. When I watch Netflix, I either need to eat a lot or do something with my hands. So I've lately been playing Stardew Valley while watching Netflix.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you spend a lot of time outdoors?
Well, there's a lot of snow right now here.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, when I can, I love outdoors. I love the forest, especially when I moved here to Sweden, and that's when I got into Dungeons and Dragons, and just going into the forest while it was such nice weather was such an inspiration that I got this book. I have this book that I got from a community member, and I started to write in there the letters that my character would write to her family or friends back at home. And I would just go into the forest and just sit down somewhere and just start writing. And it was so chill. It was so nice. I love the forest here in Sweden. It's amazing.
In the summers there, what are the temperatures like?
Do you want it in Fahrenheit?
You can give it to me in centigrade. I'm okay with it.
Okay. So like 25, 30, I think.
Oh yeah,
'Cause
that's warm.
summer,
That's actually kind of
which
warm.
is
Yeah.
I just Googled 77 Fahrenheit
Yeah.
is 25. Um, yeah, it gets really warm to the point where you have to have an air conditioning else you can't sleep. But in the summer it goes to like minus 15 degrees this last week.
In the
So
winter.
yeah, in the
Yeah.
winter. So it's
Yeah.
like really, really cold and really warm.
Yeah. I grew up a lot of my life in Chicago where it's like that too. It gets
Right.
extremely cold. As a matter of fact, there was a time in Wisconsin where my eyelids freeze closed because your eyes tear up and then the wind hits and it freezes the
Oh no.
tears and then your eyelashes are sealed together and you have to like jam your gloves into your hand and
Oh wow.
yeah, it was a treat. Yeah, I was really thrilled about that.
No, that's terrible.
um, but you know, you moved to Sweden from
Netherlands.
Netherlands. You're Dutch.
Yeah.
And what made you move to Sweden?
I could show you.
Yeah. No. I already saw. Now, I did my research. That's how I know you go into the woods.
Why don't you believe me?
Because I know what that is.
What is this?
That's the fish.
What kind of fish?
It's the smelly fish.
It's the rotten fish.
It's the rotten
Yes.
fish. Yeah.
Fermented fish.
Yeah. You went into the woods and you don't even open that in your house, and I know why.
You cannot.
Because the smell will stay in your house for years. And yeah, I actually knew what that was. So we do our research ahead of time.
Yeah, that is my go-to answer whenever when anyone asks why you moved. There's actually a lot of reasons why I moved. First things first, um, I'm a Dutch partner, so like a Dutch streamer streamer. But 1 year ago, there was a partner manager that would not allow anyone to be on the front page if they didn't speak Dutch, and my content was all in English, so I wasn't allowed to be on the front page. I wasn't invited to a lot of things. I was kind of like a Dutch partner, but I wasn't really a Dutch partner. So I wanted to be on the front page. I wanted to be, I wanted to grow. And I know a lot of Swedish streamers as well. Like I went to DreamHack here in Sweden. And it connected so well. And I actually went to Stockholm to meet up with some Swedish streamers in real life because we became friends so quickly and it clicked so well. And also, it is super hard to find a house in the Netherlands. It is absolutely terrible. It is.
Really?
Yeah, it's either you need to not like if you make a little bit of if you have an income, it's impossible to find a house. If you have really low income, then you can get a house that is cheap in the Netherlands. But as soon as you make like normal income or above, you're not allowed to have those houses anymore. And then it gets really expensive and really hard to find a house. So you'll have to pay a lot of money for the smallest houses and just pray to God that you've been like registered with those houses since you were 18 years old, because 10 years later you might have a chance to get maybe a house. So that was definitely really, yeah, it's absolutely terrible. And here in Sweden, I actually went here during the winter and I had one apartment that I looked at.
That one right there.
This one. Yeah. And I immediately got it, and it is really nice pricing. And it kind of like, I was like, oh, well, I guess I'll move to Sweden then. So yeah, and yeah. Plus, just most of the people that I know and that are my friends, they live here. So, yeah.
Are there a lot of Dutch in Sweden as well, or
no?
No, okay.
No, don't think so. I've yet to. The thing is, like, it's also COVID now, so I haven't really been out and met people. So
yeah,
I don't know.
same here. It's I travel as I need to, but it is a challenge. It is a challenge, and you have to isolate constantly and decontaminate and do all those things just to keep everybody safe. So I feel your pain there. So you brought up that you're a Dutch streamer, but you stream in English. Your English is off the charts awesome. You're fun to watch, and you're very positive all the time. How did you pick up your English? Because I mean, it's not just that you know English. You know English slang, which is not something that a lot of speakers, unless they've spent a lot of time in either the UK or North America, really pick up. How did you pick all this up? Is this from your community, or is this from time, or? I mean, you studied it in school, I'm assuming.
Well, I did, but I was terrible at it. I was unmotivated to learn languages in school. So I knew the basics, of course, because I watched television and I had some lessons and stuff. But it was a little bit like this. It was not that good. And but then I started playing World of Warcraft, and I joined TeamSpeak back then, and then I got addicted to it. And before you knew it, I was even falling asleep with TeamSpeak. It was just me and my guild, just always together talking. And there were a lot of British people in that guild as well. And I guess that's how I properly learned it. And then I became a streamer, and all my friends suddenly were international, and now I barely speak Dutch, actually.
Yeah, well, your English is way better than my Dutch, for sure.
I sure hope so.
How do you say natural 20 in Dutch?
Natuurlijke 20?
Can you do that one more time? That's amazing.
Natuurlijke 20.
Natuurlijke 20.
20.
20.
20.
20. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Nice. Not bad.
I'm ready to play. I'm ready to play Dungeons and Dragons in Dutch. All right. All right. Outstanding. Do you find that you have to know Swedish to live in Sweden?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone does speak English.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but not at first. Like, everyone speaks Swedish to each other. If I say sorry, I don't speak Swedish, then they will swap to English. But especially if you're with a group of Swedish people, they will speak Swedish eventually. They'll start with English, but as soon as my attention is there, they will continue in Swedish.
Oh, really?
And then by the time I'm like looking that way, they'll just have this whole conversation in Swedish. And before you know it, everyone is speaking Swedish, and you sit there not understanding much. That I ran into that multiple times. And
how hard was that for you to pick up Swedish?
Swedish is really hard.
Yeah.
I'm lucky that I know German and English and Dutch, because it's kind of like a combination of those three. So I do, like, when people speak slowly, I understand it. And I've also been trying to learn, of course, using Duolingo. But when people are having, like, there's multiple people talking through each other and they're having a conversation, I'm lost. I'm absolutely lost.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can
Hopefully soon after COVID, I can go to proper lessons.
That is always a good idea.
Yeah.
That's always a good idea. I did the same thing for Spanish at one point, and I speak rudimentary French. So I wouldn't even say it's good French anymore. I'm très rusty.
Oui, baguette.
Très rusty.
Très rusty.
Yeah.
Oui.
What would you, if you went into a curio shop in a Dungeons and Dragons world, what is one of the curios you would probably pick up?
What's a curio shop?
A curio shop. Oh, okay. Here's a term for you. All right. So okay. Curio shop. A curio shop would be a place that you pick up. There's different little odds and ends, knickknacks. So how to explain that? It's kind of like a hardware store, but instead of hardware, it's just got all these handy things that you might need, gadgets. And in this case, they may be magical. They may not be. You may find a wind-up toy, or a interesting portrait, or it's a cross between an antique shop and a gadget place at the same time. You might find all sorts of stuff, old and new. So.
All right. So is this question for Arianna or for my character?
Either or.
Because I think that you're not gonna be very happy with my character because she's not gonna buy anything.
I don't want anything from this shop. It's
No,
an
I
extra
don't need
weight.
anything. I'm fine. Just give
Okay.
me some water.
Yeah. Perfect.
No,
Well,
my
that's a
character
real
will
answer.
not.
That counts.
She's not gonna. No, nothing.
What would Arianna pick up?
Oh, Arianna would spend a really long time in there just learning what everything does, and then probably go for something useful. So not something shiny or something, but something really useful. Like to think of an example. You might have just learned what it is. A gadget to communicate, maybe like a phone.
A phone? Ascending stone? Ascending stone?
Yes, exactly. Something like that, so that I can keep in contact with people, maybe, or a magic object that makes it that there's always food.
Ooh, that would be probably the thing I would pick up if it existed. Either
Like
that
I
or
just
an ever full cocktail mug. Something like that might be nice.
Ooh, yeah.
If you were to name a tavern in a Dungeons and Dragons world, what would you name it?
Haha. The flying dustbin.
The fly. The flying dustbin.
A dustbin. I'm looking at a dustbin right now.
You know,
And that's where my inspiration came from.
the funny part is you've heard of the Flying Dutchman, right?
Yeah.
And that almost just sounds almost exactly like the Flying Dutchman, and that's beautiful. I love it. The Flying Dustbin.
It does actually, yeah.
Yeah. If your character was to have a sidekick, your monk character, what would that sidekick be like?
It would be someone from her monastery.
Mm-hmm.
That is probably a little bit younger than her, and that she needs to like watch over or like train and take with her throughout the world, I guess. I think that would be my sidekick.
So like an apprentice at the at the monastery. Yeah. Okay. Except this one would be a traveling apprentice that would go with you.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, that would be a good one. Yeah.
Did you playing a monk, did you take any martial arts growing up or anything like that? Were you ever
Yeah.
You did? Which ones did you take? What did you take?
So my dad actually wanted me to do that to defend myself because I got bullied in primary school a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad kind of wanted to give me some confidence. And I ended up doing taekwondo. And
Okay.
I think I was pretty good at it, but I was like 10 years old, so I was probably not. Um, but I remember, what I still remember from it was just getting kicked in the stomach a lot without like not being able to breathe anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that feeling makes me just never want to fight ever again. Just that you don't have any breath anymore. Terrible. Terrible. And what about you? Did you?
Oh yeah. I was in judo and jiu-jitsu growing up.
Nice.
And,
I wish I picked that one because that was an option as well, and I think that's way better than taekwondo. If it comes to like
you get kicked. You can still get kicked in jiu-jitsu and stuff like that too.
No,
It
I
just
mean
doesn't happen much.
that it's better as a way of defending yourself instead of just like kicking someone. It's better to use their force against themselves, right?
Yeah, I took stuff from whatever was available. I mean, like, because the instructor who taught those courses was also a Taekwondo and Hapkido instructor as well, and a very high-ranking one from out of Korea. I fought in tournament in 1999. I took second place in my weight class. The guy who beat me was actually from Korea, and was very, very tough to beat.
Ooh, don't make this person angry, chat.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, it was a tough fight. We were both wailing on each other pretty good, but at the end of it, I think I had a black eye that took about 2 to 3 weeks to go away completely. It was a really good fight, but that was in 1999, and I really kind of, I enjoyed it. I had a great time with it. This was in Chicago, and I think the important thing about that was not too much longer after those tournament fights, I stopped fighting in tournament. My concerns were very quickly turning to other things. at the time in terms of that training. So, because I also served in the military as well. So,
yeah.
So there was some other things that kind of came up.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I get that.
Yeah. But interesting question. Yeah. Taekwondo is great. Do you use any of that stuff in your, descriptions of how your monk character works and operates, or?
No. The way that we're playing that right now is there's not a lot of explaining on what happens during the fights. The fights it's more the DM like saying what happens rather than the players when we're fighting. So I haven't really. I say what spell I use, but I haven't really been acting out any of the fighting really. So. But then again, we also have not been fighting that much yet because we're somehow like we had 2 mages in the group, 2 sorcerers, and the fighting kind of happened with them. So, and my character was mostly just busy trying to protect the child, and nothing was really happening. So. And
the sorcerers just laid down fireball after fireball on the bad guys.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And they did all the stuff, and then I made sure that I was a little bit out of the fights most of the time. It's also because I roll so low all the time. I roll so low all the time. It's like I'm the worst roller of the group by far.
You know what will help with that?
Dice.
Real dice.
Yeah, but then it's not gonna show up in the chat no more. Then nobody. Yeah, then I'll be the only one who's not.
But you know what? Your dice will be real. All right.
Fair enough.
Can you tell us a little bit about where people can find you on social media?
Yes. My social media handles are Arianna_Twitch. I'm on Instagram and I'm on Twitter. I've started a YouTube, Arianna TV. I'm starting that, so there's going to be some content soon.
I think there's 4 or 5 videos up now.
They're really old, and like I should really get my sleep together and really do it.
If you want to see rotten fish being eaten, this is your opportunity, folks. Go to YouTube, check it out.
Go watch me vomit. No, I didn't vomit. Spoiler alert, I didn't vomit.
And that's also a great way to see the Swedish woods at the same time. Yeah. When can people see Cantrip Breakers? Just to make sure everyone can see that.
Every Thursday at 7 o'clock European time. So that is how late was that?
7 p.m. Central European time, and that's, I believe, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
1 p.m. So that's nice during your lunch just to check it out.
Yeah.
Oh no, because it takes longer after that. Just just be there.
It's currently 6 hours difference, and then you are also streaming WoW on what days?
On Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
And Sunday, I think it's 12 noon, and Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's 3 p.m. Central European time?
Yes, correct. Twitch.tv/Arianna.
All right. So thank you so much, Arianna, for coming out today. I really appreciate the conversation and getting to know you even better. I now know so much about you wanting to really play an elf druid that's dreamy, that you had a bard that could actually sing, that you were a singer, and so many other things I did not know about you, and that hopefully your audience has now learned about you as well. It's just awesome to see you once again, and I hope that maybe sometime you'll come back on.
Definitely. Thank you for having me.
The pleasure's all mine. Guys, thanks again. We'll be back in just a moment, and we'll see you then.